I know I'm not the only adult that sits in their car wondering how they're making the most money they've ever made in their entire life, and it still doesn't seem to be enough.
It always feels like it's not enough. I'm telling you, it always feels like it's not enough. If I made $2,000 more, it probably still wouldn't feel like it's enough. I don't think you'll ever feel like you're making enough money unless you're making the correct decisions with your money. I think that I make enough money, but if I made more, I'd be able to save more and reach my goals faster. You're always going to want to make more, but it's all about your spending habits. It's all about how much are you able to save compared to how much you're spending.
It's $2,000 a month, and I live in a townhouse. My car note is $535.
Hey, 2000 for a townhouse is not bad at all, okay? But that's normal. That is what people are paying for rent. Like, that's how much rent is. $2,000, $1,800. It's rare that you're gonna find something for $1,300, for $1,500, unless you go and live in a low cost of living area. So let's calculate this as she goes. So she already has $2,000 in rent for a townhouse. I'm not gonna always just agree with people because there's definitely ways that you can cut costs. So you come on here complaining about your costs that you pay $2,000 to rent townhouse when maybe you can have a roommate and rent $1,000, which I am a huge advocate for. Basically house hacking. I talk about it all the time. And then you have $500 for a car note, which we all know we don't need a car note. You know, we can go get an older car. We have our 2008 Honda CRV that's sitting right in front of us. That was about $8,000 a few years ago, and it's been a great car. No car note, cheap insurance. So imagine if she got rid of her car note, got a cheaper car like a Honda CRV that's super reliable. It's not the best looking car, but it's a super reliable car. She was able to save up for cash. Maybe before she moved out or whatever, she was able to save for cash. Buy a Honda CRV that's a good one. Have car insurance that's maybe $60. So maybe the amount of money that's going to her car monthly could be 150, 200 if you can factor in maintenance and repairs. You can go from $500 or almost $600 to $200 if you have made these decisions before you got into the situation that you're in now, because it's harder to save when you have all this money coming out for these needs. We have $2,000 coming out for your rent. We have $500 coming out for your car. We haven't even talked about gas or insurance.
My car insurance
There it
is $370 between two vehicles.
I should have two vehicles. I don't know. We don't know the entire story, but I'm not gonna get on here and be like she's making all the right decisions. Right off the top, I'm not no finance professional, but me personally, if I'm struggling, if it is getting tough out here, there's gonna be some cuts. There's gonna be some cuts. Maybe I'm in too much of a house. Maybe I'm too much of an apartment. I need to downgrade to maybe a studio, or I need to go get a roommate. Yes, this is the amount you're gonna pay for insurance when you have two vehicles, especially if you have a car that's kind of new. Like when we got this car right here, this is 2025. We originally were paying about $300 something in insurance a month, and then we kept calling, getting different quotes, and we got that talked all the way down to like 150 or something. It was almost half of what we were paying, more than half maybe of what we were paying when we first got this car. So there's ways you can kind of cut costs. There's a lot of ways you can cut costs, and maybe she's doing it, maybe she's not, but we're just kind of watching this in real time.
And every time I fucking turn around, that shit's going up, and they can't even tell you why, other than that the rates have increased. Fucking why?
Yeah.
And then you got some fucking orange man in office trying to convince you that your grocery bill has decreased, but I just went and spent $100 on fucking chips, bread, bananas, apples, some fucking muffins, and hamburger meat.
Yeah. Groceries are crazy. I'm not gonna lie about that one. But if you're able to cut down in those other categories like housing and transportation, then the increase in grocery costs is not a huge deal. When you're able to cut down in these other areas, you could then pay more money towards your groceries. So think about that, guys. Before you go out here and get your apartment, before you go get this big boy or big girl house, think about your future and just know that things rise. Your payments are going to rise on these things, and you have to think about 5, 10 years down the line. Will you still be able to afford this thing? Will you still be able to afford this apartment 10 years from now, when you know things are going to rise? So should you be getting this new car right now when you know that insurance is going to rise. Even the cost of the car is going to rise. And you know that groceries are going to rise steadily. So you have to really plan out things. You can't live day to day. You need to be living years and years ahead. You just need to have good planning when you're thinking about these things. We went to the grocery store a few hours ago. It wasn't your main grocery store. It's definitely a more expensive grocery store. We spent about $78 at that grocery store. It's crazy because some days, before you know it, like it'd be 12 o'clock and you already spent $250. Because you went to the grocery store, maybe you got some food, you got some Pampers, paper towels, and before you know, you already spent $200, $300 for the day. It's like, what happened? That money should be budgeted. That money can be in your budget, and it makes it fine because your budget allows you to spend what you need to spend. It gives you permission to spend that money. I don't look at budgets as limiting. It gives you permission to spend in certain areas, and that's what's so great about budgets.
Oh, don't forget the $10 eggs.
Yeah, eggs too. Eggs are cheaper now though, but I don't know when this was made or where she lives. Eggs are like $2-3 now.
HOA just decided to charge me $100 because I left my garbage can sitting out in front of my house for a couple of days because I needed to let it dry after dumping it with bleach because there were maggots in there. You rent from these companies and they penny pinch you on every fucking thing that they can. We are being bullied into poverty by these corporations and billionaires. And we have somebody in office gaslighting us in our face, telling us, oh, no, you're not. I don't understand how the families that are living off $15 an hour, like, how are you doing it?
Life is not easy. I mean, life, it can be easy, but I think that we make it difficult. And her paying, fees or whatever, penalties for HOA, I just want to live in an HOA community. I don't want to live in an HOA community. And when we move to Florida in a few years, hopefully like sooner than later, but we're going to end up down in Florida. I promise you I'm going to end up in Florida, but I don't want to pay an HOA fee. And I know Florida's a crazy place to live sometimes, but I don't care. I want good weather. As you can see right now, guys, it is snowing like crazy. Let me show you. Look at that snow. It's freaking snowing, dude. It's literally snowing. I can't stand it, but this is just delightful. Personally, I would say not to live in an HOA community. Again, I'm not a finance professional. I'm just a person on YouTube who has opinions, and I'm going to state them. I would not live in an HOA community. I would live in a community where I feel like I have ownership to my house and to the things I want to do with my house. But life can be difficult, but it can also be very, very simple. And I think we're in that kind of comfortable groove right now of having a simple life. You all know we have our house hack, and things are just going great. I'm building our emergency fund up, and we're able to do these things because we have lowered our expenses in the big three, which I talk about all the time, which is housing, transportation, and food. We have lowered our housing significantly by house hacking. Our transportation did go up a little bit, but it has gone down because we're steadily paying down this loan. We're going to pay this loan off within a year. We got a 3-year loan on this car. It's going to be paid off within a year, hopefully before a year is up. And we still have our older car right in front of me that runs on cheap insurance and cheap gas. And this car is pretty cheap in gas as well. We fill up about every week though. This car's a little bit expensive at gas. Our car insurance is not too high right now, so we're still steadily lowering our expenses. We just switched car insurance companies to kind of lower those expenses even more. We also switched the home insurance company so we can lower insurance even more and put that money towards saving. It's all about life planning, guys. It's all about life planning. You cannot just go out here making decisions and not thinking about the consequences that come with them. Family planning is huge. She might need or want this townhome, has maybe 3 or 4 rooms because she might have a couple of kids, and kids can do it too. So you have to think about all these things before things happen. People complain about daycare, and it's like you have to know how much daycare is going to be before you even have a child. And then you have to put that number into your budget and be like, can we actually afford a child? Can our child actually go to daycare? Based off our numbers, it's a yes or it's a no. All about planning. So when you do become an adult and life hits you, it's not super hard. You need to know how much rent is going to be when you graduate. You need to know how much rent is going to be when you move out. You need to know how much groceries are going to be. You have to run these things in your budget. So let me know what you guys think about this lady's video. She's saying basically life is super difficult right now. And I'm not saying it's not. But there are some decisions that we make that make life very difficult. Our life is super simple because we keep our finances simple. We keep our expenses simple. We're not out here buying all these random things. We're not out here just spending our money willy-nilly. We're making sure that saving and investing is our priority and that we keep our housing low. That's the most important thing. Keep your housing low. If she's able to cut down her housing some way, somehow, then she will definitely see her finances turn around. Maybe she has good finances, maybe she doesn't. She's just saying life is just difficult. She's making the most money she made ever, but it doesn't feel like it. So maybe she's able to keep her living expenses low. She could change her trajectory and where she's going now. So let me know what you guys think about the video. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.